Hello all, this is Riley over at InMusic. I wanted to put together a short video on how to properly calibrate the crossfader on the Numark Scratch DJ mixer, since it's something that's important for keeping your mixer in top shape for performing, but it can be a little confusing if you've never done it before. So if your crossfader isn't functioning properly, maybe you're hearing some sound bleeding from either side, or the crossfader path doesn't sound balanced, calibrating it can take care of the problem. Before you get started, here are a few things you'll need in order to complete the process. Your Numark Scratch and AC cable, speakers and accompanying cables for monitoring your sound, a Phillips head screwdriver, a microfiber cloth for handling the sensitive internal mixer components, any sound source, I'm using a CDJ player here, and perhaps most importantly, patience. Calibrating a crossfader can be a bit of a tedious process, but it's a normal and necessary part of owning a pro DJ mixer, and it's always worth it to have your gear operating at its best, so keep that in mind. First, while making sure the mixer's power switch is turned off, plug the power cable into the AC output on the back. Connect your sound source to channel 1 using an RCA cable. Then plug your speaker output cables into either the RCA or XLR outputs. Using your screwdriver, remove the lower 4 screws on the top mixer plate. Then the 4 corner screws on the front plate. Keep the screws separate and put them aside somewhere you won't misplace them. Gently pull the front plate away from the unit. Since we're keeping the headphone amplifier attached to the plate, place it to the side and make sure its cables aren't under tension. Inside the unit, you'll see the crossfader fixed to the bottom of the mixer plate. To the left side, on the bottom of the crossfader, is the calibration button. Make a note of this button's location, it'll come into play later. Next, toggle the crossfader slope select to the right, which is the sharper of the 2 slopes. Also move the fader stem all the way to the right. Now power on your mixer and your sound source. Start playing something and turn up the volume and gain on channel 1, as well as your master output. Gradually move the fader stem from right to left. Take at least half a second to do this. Slower movement improves the accuracy of the crossfader curve. To fine-tune this side of the crossfader and reduce any bleeding sound, squeeze and hold the fader stem to the left. Move the stem about 1 to 2 millimeters towards the center. Using your cloth, press and hold the calibration button for at least 1/4 of a second and then release it. Now you can let go of the fader stem. Now let's calibrate the other side. At the same speed you used with the left side, slide the stem from left to right. Remember, take at least half a second to do this. If you're experiencing any sound bleed from this side, calibrate it using the same process. Squeeze and hold the fader stem to the right, move the stem 1 to 2 millimeters towards the center, press and hold the calibration button for at least 1/4 second, then release the button and the stem. So, those are all the steps for calibration. Once you finish, check for any dead space at the left and right sides of the fader. If you only have one sound source plugged into the mixer, you can toggle the crossfader reverse switch to invert the crossfader and check the other side for potential bleeding sound. If you still hear your source playing when the crossfader is set all the way to one side, repeat all the steps for calibration. This is what I meant when I said patience is important when calibrating. Sometimes it might take a few tries to get it just the way you want it. Remember that both sides must be calibrated together for the calibration to work. So once you're happy with how your crossfader is behaving, remember this: if you need to disconnect the mixer's power cable after calibration, make sure the power switch is turned off before unplugging the cable. Unplugging the cable while power is still on can effectively reset the calibration and cause all your hard work to go to waste. Now, all that's left to do is to slide the front plate back into the mixer and screw it back in. So that's that. I hope this video has been helpful for you and you're ready to tackle calibrating your Scratch's crossfader head on. Thanks for tuning in and happy mixing.